Today is a very big day.
We are crossing the border into Mexico.
I mean, I don't know how this could go badly, but...
Why do you even say these things?
I don't know, I'm
Don't
just...
say anything!
We're Levi and Leah, a Canadian couple living out of our Toyota Prius to complete a road trip of a lifetime.
We left our apartment in the city to spend the next year circumnavigating North America.
Last week we were in Los Angeles soaking up the beaches and the city, and this week we are crossing the border into Mexico, a huge milestone for this trip. Today is a very big day.
We are crossing the border into Mexico.
So as you might remember, when we crossed the border into the US, we were greeted with the sounds of gunfire. Is that gunshots? And then shortly after, we had a ticket. Hopefully the crossing into Mexico border experience is a lot better, but we have done some things to prepare.
I went deep research mode. So I have all of our paperwork to get, it's like a tourist visa if you're a Canadian citizen, to go into Mexico for up to 6 months. Copies of our receipts saying that we paid for it. I made extra copies of our car insurance, our Mexican car insurance over there, and of our driver's license, passports, birth certificates, everything.
We're prepared.
We are prepared.
Okay, well, it's probably time to turn off Harry Potter because we're approaching the border here.
Yeah.
So we are crossing at the Mexicali border because it is not recommended that most people cross at the Tijuana border, despite it being the more commonly done one, just because of safety. There is an unfortunate amount of scammy kind of stuff that happens at the border, and this was the most normal one, according to what we could find online. Wow, it is completely dead here. There is like nobody in line, which is pretty strategic. That was Leah's decision. She looked it up, and apparently this time of the day is when it's the quietest. Good work. Very smart planning.
We're actually new, we get to the other side.
Okay. I mean, I don't know how this could go badly, but...
Why do you even say these things?
I don't know. I'm
Don't
just...
say anything!
Can't get the passports up, that's good.
Where am I going to?
Nobody's looking at us, they're just like, maybe just drive right through.
I don't know if you go through.
I can't get our passports out the freaking...
You pull against...
No, it won't go. Did we just drive through the border? Like, where are we supposed to go right now? Did we not open this like literally an hour ago?
Yes, here, do you want me to help you?
Yeah, but the thing won't open otherwise.
We'll figure it out another time.
So we've come to this really sketchy turnaround spot to figure out what we're gonna do. Okay, we're in Mexico, I guess. Why don't I drive and then you navigate, because you know what we're doing.
Why don't you just wait here for a second?
You really just have no idea how anything is gonna go when you're on the road, and that was actually like frighteningly simple. I was expecting 1,000 times as much drama as we just experienced.
Can I go back up this way? That's the immigration office on this side.
So we have driven back to the border because this is the only place where you can actually like validate your passports and get your visa stamped and everything. Amazing that we were able to just drive through, though. That was kind of absurd. Let's hope that this is a little bit more organized from here on. So this is the whole area that we just drove right through, which I don't understand at all.
Do you not have the receipt?
Yeah, for some reason I couldn't find the receipt for this one.
Okay, so what do we do? Okay, well, it looks like we have our visas and we have our passports.
180 days.
The only mistake that we made is we didn't have a receipt for the payments that we made online, so we had to buy mine a second time.
We had the receipt, but not the right Benjercito, like official receipt.
They're very particular about those.
When that pop-up, if you were ever doing this yourself, that pop-up, don't exit it. That was my bad. Over there is the USA, and this is Mexico, baby. I don't want to say my research paid off, but it paid off. That was the easiest border crossing. They didn't look into our car. The guy who stamped our passports and processed our visas was super easy.
Yeah, he was great.
I think we were in and out in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, wild.
Yeah, we are the exception to the horror stories that you hear.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to get money now for about 20 or 30 minutes. We stopped in at a mall and tried to find some there, and that didn't work. Our cards just don't seem to work in the machine, so we're just trying to figure that out, because you kind of need money when you're traveling in another country. Wow, we actually have money?
We have 5,000 Mexican pesos.
Oh, wow. So we used the Wise card and it actually worked.
Yes, it actually worked. Okay, so the Wise card, you're able to load any currency from around the world onto it, and then you can use it as a credit card or as a debit card. So I just used it, opened up the checking account, and was able to take out pesos from my pesos account.
You're also able to transfer within currencies on the app. So on our way to the border, I transferred money from our USD account into our pesos account within Wise, and then we were able to make that transfer. Not gonna say that I like Wise specifically, but it has been pretty handy on this trip.
It's been a means to an end.
Yeah.
Autopista
Van
para...
a querer un lugar para camping. It looks like it's kind of been abandoned. Holy shit, what is going on here? So we might be the only people at this place. There does seem to be a pool though, and we would appreciate that. Hola. Anybody here? No? Okay. Mucho bueno. ¿Cuánto cuesta una noches?
Do you just park here on the sand?
Well, yeah, you can't get out to the sand, so you gotta park over there. But there is literally not a single person here. We are the only human beings that don't work here at this establishment, which is like nice, but also kind of creepy. Like we're a fair ways away from Pete's is definitely. Okay, well, we have found a probably overpriced parking spot on the beach here in San Felipe. I'm just happy to be done driving today, honestly.
It's been a big day.
It's been a long one.
A day we've been thinking about for a long time, so I just want to like be in the ocean. Can you tell how sticky we are?
I'm so sticky, so hot. Oh my god. Oh well, look at our little friend here. Something tells me this is going to be a lot of Leah's trip in Mexico, is meeting the neighborhood dogs. Worried. Good morning. From our first morning in Mexico.
Yeah, I got up at the sunrise, read my book. It was really nice.
Now we're eating peaches and cereal with this view, which is pretty much what I was kind of hoping Mexico would be like. So our experience crossing the border into Mexico was both not what we expected and exactly what we expected.
It was both uneventful and a little bit stressful.
There is a lot of horror stories about crossing the Mexico border, like people being searched, being fined massive amounts of money, getting things stolen from them. It was genuinely quite stressful because the internet basically had prepared us for this like almost guaranteed disaster situation, and we were extremely prepared for everything because that's the way we operate. But yeah, it was not nearly as stressful as we were expecting it to be.
One of the things that I think helped us out was preparing all of our documents ahead of time. You can actually fill out the form ahead of time, print it out, and show your receipt. So when you get there, the official's really just like signing it, stamping it, and you're good to go.
Leah and I have traveled in a lot of different places around the world, and what is always kind of consistent is, regardless of their development, there's always amazing, beautiful people. And sometimes there's even beautiful and amazing dogs too.
Oh, hi, good morning. These are my friends from yesterday. Oh, you're wet though.
Oh God. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. You were lovely in concept, but not necessarily in person.
Oh my God, you brought us two?
Those look
Yeah.
amazing.
Dude, that's
I'll bring you
amazing.
some hot sauce so you guys can put some.
Dude, thanks
thank
so
you.
much. What the
Looks
heck?
so good.
Dude, that looks unreal. Yeah, so I guess our neighbor just is a great guy and just brought us over some breakfast burritos. Hey, thanks so much, man. I didn't know you were gonna bring us two. What is this now?
Hot sauce, my homemade
my-
from my mom. Try it out.
What, really?
That's beautiful.
Dude, then he brings us over 2 beers. It's like 10:30 in the morning.
Perfect.
So the hot sauce is definitely authentic. I don't know how seriously capable we're gonna be on this. Oh, this looks freaking.
Oh.
I should have brought you napkins.
That's okay.
Are you kidding me? What? You're just
Yeah.
bringing us more stuff?
Try it out.
What is going on?
Thank you.
Enjoy.
What he just brought us? We got tahini and we got some limes for the beer.
We
What?
gotta do it right now then.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
See, this is the amazing thing about traveling, is like, you don't know when some lovely human is gonna bring you a couple of beers and a couple of burritos in the morning. Honestly,
Mine just keep bubbling.
a tecate and a burrito in the morning is the breakfast of champions. All right, this is not a thing that any of you asked for, but it's a topic that I want to discuss. Footwear.
I gotta go get my shoes.
So Leah and I, on this trip, have both brought a total of 4 pairs of shoes each. And weirdly, almost all of them match, which was not intentional.
Actually, yeah, they're almost all the same brand.
This is the lineup. These are all of our shoes. A waterproof sandal, the Birkenstocks, a light pair of shoes, and the hiking boots, obviously, because that's what we do for recreation. But we are here at our campground in Ensenada, and we're gonna talk all about the crazy story that led to us being here right on the water once again. But that is the subject for next week's video, so make sure you are subscribed for that.
For now, I'm gonna show you my Tevas. I got these last summer and really enjoyed them, so I convinced Levi to get a pair before he went on this trip. This has been super great because we have been in some sketchy showers on this trip. And you're like, ooh, I don't want my bare feet on that. So these have been super handy. They're great for, when you know you're gonna be walking through like dirt or sand or whatever and you don't care about them getting dirty. These are the perfect pairs for that.
But I think the Tevas are kind of ugly, so I insisted on bringing the Birkenstocks. Now, Birkenstocks are huge, and I would say that if you don't mind the look of Tevas, I wouldn't bring Birkenstocks because they're massive. These take up more space than basically any other pair of shoes other than our hikers. But they are very comfortable. They are semi-fashionable, depending on who you ask, and I love them. So having them on the trip has been very helpful.
I think the difference is you have massive feet. If you have feet my size, it's not a big deal. I can bring mine. It's only when you have these boats that are, what are those, size 12?
Wow, why this turned into like a Levi roast?
Yeah, it's a foot roast.
A foot roast.
These are my Cariumas that I've had for a few years. For a while, I was really concerned about keeping them very white and clean. You can't do that when you live in a car. So you just have to let it go. These are great if we're walking around in cities. We know we're gonna be traversing a lot of ground that day, and you wanna have closed-toed shoes.
This is the only pair of shoes that we have that isn't actually matching. These are Allbirds. They're kind of breathable. This is their tree runner variety, and so far, I've enjoyed them. I think they're not quite as tough as some shoes that you can buy, but they've done the trick. But our big shoes that we brought are our hikers, these absolutely hideous Keen hiking boots.
Again, speak for yourself. Mine are adorable and have blue accents. Yours are massive, and you could use them as a floating device.
Wow! So how many shoes you bring on whatever trip you're going on could be infinite. You could bring all of your shoes, but it really depends on the space that you have. And we knew that this small area was where we had shoe space. As you know from our build series, we built these little risers that go underneath of the fridge, and this allows us to store 2 pairs of shoes that we aren't using. So what we do is I'll put my shoes and my Tevas deep in there where I don't need them if I know that I'm going to be using my Birkenstocks, and then my Birkenstocks, one slides in there like that, and the other one slides under there like that. And then you can close the door still.
Yeah.
So these are the bags that we put our hiking boots in, which is great because it keeps all the dirt and everything contained inside of them.
This one came in like a packing cube set, which when we do a full tour of the car, those have been a huge lifesaver. This was in that set. And then what we do is we just tuck them on the bottom, especially if we know we're not going to be hiking for a few days. And because of the general shape of them, they make a nice little base on the bottom here for everything else to sit flat on top of.
Well, we recognize that maybe that wasn't the content that you asked for when you clicked on this video, but
we thought it was so interesting, and now I'm like, oh, I think I have room for another pair of shoes.
no.
What about a fancy going out pair?
Yes,
Not
because
heels.
we go out so often.
Well, maybe I want to be fancy sometimes.
But the things that you pack while you live on the road are very specific, and I feel like we have nailed the shoe department pretty well. So hopefully that was helpful for you in some way, or at least interesting.
Well, thank you so much for joining us as we enter into Mexico, and
Yes.
if you're subscribed, we will see you as we traverse North America.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow in Mexico. Or no, we'll see you next week.
In Mexico.
See you next week in Mexico.
Bye.
So this is the view of where we were staying. We have a marina over here. We have a big breakwater. There's a little beach down there. We're literally like being tailed by dogs. And now all the dogs are barking.
This is our washroom.
Great.